Yo, welcome back guys. So this is basically the second video of my biology course. I hope madami kayo natutunan sa introduction. And I'm sorry I keep saying sa introduction video ko na we're gonna discuss that in the future because malawak nga yung topic. But anyway, I'm not gonna say that today kasi we're gonna be specific with cells. And there's a lot of things to discuss about cells. So I'm fully aware of that naman. Kaya this is not gonna be the only video about cells na I'm going to discuss. Kasi there's a lot of things na pwedeng i-discuss sa cell to the point na pwede kang gumawa ng isang semester just teaching cells. But anyway, let's answer the question, what is a cell? A cell is the basic structural and functional unit of all living organisms. So, kadalasan sa mga entrance exam or sa mga exams in general, it's always a giveaway question when they ask, it is the basic unit of life. Automatic answer dun is yung cell. And kung pinanood mo yung introduction video ko about biology, makikita mo dun yung definition of life, diba? So, a cell is the smallest unit of life that can carry out all life processes such as growth, reproduction, and response to the environment or stimuli. We as organisms are made out of cells and galing lang din tayo sa mga organisms na also made out of cells. Basically, lahat ng living things, ano man ang kanyang domain, archaea, bacteria, or eukarya man siya, it is most definitely made out of a cell kung unicellular siya. Or kung multicellular, then it's made out of cells. Para mas ma-appreciate nyo yung importance ng cell, we're gonna look at the structural levels of organization in anatomy. So when we say structural levels, it means ano yung pagkakasunod-sunod ng katawan natin mula sa pinakamaliit hanggang sa pinakamalaki, which is yung pinaka-overall organism. So it's gonna start with the chemical level, specifically yung mga atoms. And if those atoms combine, they make up what we call molecules. And there's a lot of chemical activities na nangyayari sa katawan natin. But let's just say na if those molecules combine to a specific pattern, they eventually form to create the basic unit of life, which are cells. Kaya pag tinanong kung anong level ang cells, nasa second level siya ng structure of anatomy. However, it depends kung anong textbook yung ginagamit But generally, sa second level siya. But madaming klase ng cells. May blood cells, may muscle cells, nerve cells, epithelial, stem cells. Let's just say na there are over 200 types of human cells. I want to say around 200, something like that. And each of those cells function differently. Which brings us to our third level. If those cells with the same function comes together, they create what we call a tissue. Tissues are similar cell groups together and they perform a specific function. For example, yung muscle tissues, well, they're for the muscles. And for our fourth level, if those tissues combine, they eventually form what we call an organ. So, dito sa organ, mas malinaw na, no? Kasi mas exposed tayo dito mula elementary. Mas madaling ipaliwanag yung organ. But let's just say na organs are made out of tissues and tissues are made out of cells. And cells are made out of molecules. Now, itong mga organs na to, if they come up together and if they function for the same process, they basically create what we call an organ system. And madami tayong organ system. Our main organ systems are 11. Like we have the digestive system, cardiovascular system, skeletal system, stuff like that. Pero meron din mga organ system na hindi masyadong sikat tulad ng articulatory system. Ayun, hindi kadalasan tinuturo yun sa meds Kadalasan mas tinuturo yun sa linguistics. But I want to highlight then na organs are very diverse and pwede silang mag-exist sa more than one organ system. For example, yung mouth. The mouth is part of the digestive system. Obviously, kailangan mong kumain, di ba? And saan ba magsisimula yun? Sa mouth. But at the same time, ang mouth is also used for speaking. So, it's also part of the articulatory system. The main point here is, pag pinag-combine mo lahat ng organ system sa katawan, it will eventually lead to the highest structure, which is yung organism level. And you may ask, with all that said, it will really make you wonder talaga na lahat pala ng parte ng katawan natin ay gawa sa cells pag sinum in mo. So, sinabi ko sa first video na we are multicellular, di ba? Because our bodies are made out of trillions of cells. So, and I think mahirap naman bilangin yun. But I'm just gonna use this article as my reference. It basically shows here that the human body is made out of 37.2 trillion human cells. However, kung i-explore mo pa yung Google, it's gonna show other sources that ranges from 30 to 40 trillion or ikaw na bahala. But that's the point. The same can also be said sa mga animals and sa mga plants. Once again, depende sa species nila. So, recap tayo. When we say structural levels of organization in anatomy, kung titignan mo yung multicellular tulad nating mga tao, magsisimula yan sa chemical level, sunod cellular, tissue, organ system, and then sa pinakamataas, organism. So, paano naman yung mga unicellular? Well, obviously, ang magiging structure of anatomy niya is mula chemical level hanggang cellular level lang. Hindi na siya abot ng tissues. Huwag na tayo masyadong lumayo. The best example I could provide is yung lahat ng klase ng bacteria. Lahat sila ay unicellular. Ibig sabihin, bawat organism is just one cell. And yan na yung pinaka-itsura niya. I hope everything is clear so far. Now I want to discuss the different parts of the cell. Or let's just say yung three main parts of the cell muna. Let's start with the cell membrane. So, kung makita mo sa arrow, cell membrane siya yung pinaka-labas ng cell. And that's because the cell membrane controls what enters and leaves the cell. Ang other term po natin dyan is semi-permeable. Ibig sabihin, hindi ka basta-basta makakapasok at hindi ka basta-basta makakalabas ng cell. So, it's safe to say na ang cell membrane is basically the walls of the cell because it protects the cell from outside problems, and at the same time, it is the gate of the cell kasi yun lang yung entry and exit point mo. The next one is going to be the cytoplasm. So, if you're going to have a closer look, yung cytoplasm is yan na yung pinaka-loob ng cell. I want you to think about it na para siyang layer. The cytoplasm is the inner layer kung saan may mga iba't ibang nakalagay sa loob niyan. But ang keyword natin dyan is that the cytoplasm is the jelly-like substance. So, I don't wanna say na nag-float yung mga organelles sa loob dun. I think mas proper sabihin na yung mga organelles ay suspended sa loob ng cell because of the cytoplasm. It supports the structure of the cell. And kanina ko pa sinasabi organelle, no? So when we say organelles, it's kinda like an organ. Di ba yung mga organs natin, it serves a specific function sa katawan natin. So same na rin sa mga organelles. It serves a specific function sa cell. And finally, sa cytoplasm, maraming chemical reactions na nangyayari dyan para makasurvive yung cell. For example, glycolysis. So when we say glycolysis, it's basically the breakdown of glucose para makaproduce ng adenosine triphosphate. We're gonna discuss that mamaya sa mitochondria. Diyan din nangyayari yung protein synthesis, specifically yung mga ribosomes didikit siya sa endoplasmic reticulum. Papaliwanag ko mamaya yon. So ganito yung itsura ng cytoplasm pag wala siyang organelles, and ganito naman pag meron. And finally, the most important major part of the cell, it is the nucleus. Kadalasan lumalabas sa mga exam, the nucleus is the control center of the cell. Control center or CPU of the cell or brains of the cell, iisa lang yan. Kaya yung nucleus, it's very important because siya yung nagbibigay ng direction, instructions kung paano makakasurvive yung cell. But another purpose of the nucleus is to store genetic materials or DNA. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I know I said kanina na I'm going to stop saying na in the future, but I'm gonna say in the future, i-discuss natin kung ano yung DNA kasi malawak na usapan ang genetics. But let's just say DNA is basically the blueprints of your personality. Kung bakit kulay brown yung mata mo, kung bakit kayo manggi ka, stuff like that. Yan yung kumbaga tatak ng magulang mo. Like, diyan mo talaga masasabi na anak ka ng mama mo dahil parehas kayo ng genes or DNA. Kaya kung hindi ka sigurado kung sino yung mama at papa mo, magpa-DNA test ka. Anyway, as I said nga kanina, the nucleus controls cell growth, division, and reproduction by regulating which genes are turned on or off. So, genes na naman tayo. But basically, sa usapang gene regulation yan. But for now, what I want you to understand is that the nucleus thinks for the cell, the cytoplasm is the structure, body of the cell, and the cell membrane is basically the walls and gate of the cell. Yun ang three main parts of the cell. But kung magiging specific tayo, it's gonna be the three main parts of a eukaryotic cell. Because if you remember sa introduction to biology video ko, I specifically said there na ang main difference ng eukaryotic and prokaryotic cell is that si eukaryotic cell ay merong nucleus, while si prokaryotic cell ay wala. But just because walang nucleus ang prokaryotic cell doesn't mean na hindi na niya kayang i-regulate sarili niya. Kaya naman, and may DNA din ang prokaryotic cell. So once again, I'm going to say na I'm going to make a different video for prokaryotic cells because dalawang domain ang pag-uusapan dyan. It's gonna be bacteria and archaea. So for now, ang gusto kong focus natin is yung eukarya or yung mga eukaryotic cells. Balik tayo sa nucleus. So ganito yung pinaka-itsura ng nucleus. Hindi siya yung bilog lang sa gitna. It's the entire circle na nasa gitna and may isa pang bilog sa gitna which is called the nucleolus, but isa-isahin natin. Simulan natin sa nucleus envelope, also known as nuclear membrane. So makita mo yung term na membrane. Yan yung pinaka-outer layer ng nucleus. It separates it from the cytoplasm. And if you're wondering kung paano ka makakapasok or makakalabas ng nucleus, you're gonna have to go through the nuclear pores. And tulad ng membrane kanina, it only allows specific molecules tulad ng RNA, protein, and ions para makadaan. The rest, iba-block na niya. So with the same sense, it basically protects the DNA and it tightly controls what affects the gene activities na nangyayari sa loob ng nucleus. And of course, kung meron tayong nuclear membrane, meron din tayong parang nuclear cytoplasm, which is basically the nucleoplasm. So the nucleoplasm, kinda like the cytoplasm, it's also a gel-like substance, but ang gusto kong i-highlight sa nucleoplasm is that it houses what we call the chromatins. So what are chromatins? So sa chromatins nakalagay yung mga DNA. Chromatins are made out of DNA and proteins. And pag nagkakaroon na tinatawag nating cell division, yung mga chromatin ay magiging chromosomes. So, tsaka natin yun pag-uusapan pag umabot na tayo sa sexual and asexual reproduction. But anyway, the next one is yung pinaka-highlight ng nucleus, which is the nucleolus. So, ang main function ni nucleolus ay gumawa ng ribosomes. So, ano yung ribosomes? I'm going to explain that in a few seconds from now. But tandaan mo lang, ang ginagawa ng nucleolus ay ribosomes. So let's proceed to the next organelle, which is going to be the endoplasmic reticulum. So nasa labas na tayo ng nucleus. Nasa cytoplasm na tayo. Share ko lang, not that it matters. The endoplasmic reticulum is my favorite organelle kasi ang daming complex na cellular processes na nangyayari dito. May dalawa kasi siyang parte. The smooth ER, which is dyan nangyayari yung fats or lipids. So starting now, gusto ko masanay ka na when I say lipids, that means fat or taba. Ang mas proper kasi pakinggan yung term na lipids. At the same time, sa smooth ER, dyan din nagdi-detoxify. So kung merong mga harmful na substances, ayan, dinidetoxify ni smooth ER yun. Naalala mo pa ba si ribosome? Diba, si ribosomes ay galing siya sa nucleolus. So once nagawa na siya ni nucleolus, yung ribosomes naman ay didikit sa tinatawag nating rough ER. Once dumikit na si ribosomes kay rough ER, ang trabaho naman ni rough ER is gumawa ng proteins. By the way, kaya siya tinatawag na rough ER kasi may dumidikit sa kanyang mga ribosomes. Si smooth ER naman, ayun, smooth lang. Wala naman dumidikit dyan. Smooth siya. Okay, I hope you're having fun so far. Next naman is the Golgi apparatus. Now, the Golgi apparatus is basically known as the packaging center of the cell. Why? Kasi once nakagawa na ng fat or lipids si smooth ER at nakagawa na ng protein si rough ER, so parehas yun galing na endoplasmic reticulum, pagtapos gawin ni ER yun, ibibigay na niya kay Golgi apparatus. Ang trabaho naman ni Golgi apparatus is to receive, modify, and to sort them out. And then siya na rin yung magsesend kung saan yung proper na destinations nun, whether it is inside or outside of the cell. The Golgi apparatus makes sure na yung mga nagawa ni ER goes to the correct destinations. And of course, ito yung favorite ng lahat, mitochondrion. Or, yung plural niya, mitochondria. So, we all know naman that mitochondrion is the powerhouse of the cell. But what exactly makes it the powerhouse? Mitochondrion is responsible for creating ATP or adenosine triphosphate. ATP is the main energy currency ng cell. Sa lahat ng kilos, galaw, protein synthesis, or basta yung pinaka-movement ng cells natin, pati yung paggalaw natin in general, we use ATP. And mitochondrion or mitochondria is responsible for that. And finally, for this video, I would like to highlight the lysosome. So, the lysosome, i-quote ko na lang directly sa professor ko dati, is basically the cleaner of the cell. And for obvious reasons, kaya tinatawag na ganun ang lysosome because it helps clean the cell. And also, it plays a crucial role sa paglaban ng mga disease or infections. Kaya nilang i-detect kung healthy ba yung cell or under attack. I'm so excited to discuss in the future yung mga tinatawag nating pathogens. But anyway, as I said kanina, malawak ang usapan ng cells. And etong video na to, we just managed to scratch the surface. Surface pa lang yung nakakalmot natin. Wala pa tayo sa malalim. But in order for you to understand something complex, you have to understand the basics talaga. So I do hope madami kayo natutunan. Comment down and show some love by subscribing to my YouTube channel. And thank you very much for listening. Bye for now.